Okay, go ahead. If you want to say something.
Mr. Ford would like everybody's attention for a few minutes. He has a few things to say.
Before the meeting is called to order by Mr. Kazsuk and we have pledge and prayer, I just want to again thank this community for the support that they've given us. They always give us, but certainly a week ago today was tragic for Russell County Schools when we lost Briley Northcutt. But as this community oftentimes does, and I'm not going to sit here and try to start naming people because the list would be very long and I would leave out a lot of people. But the prayers, the support, it means so much to certainly us and our school community, but to the parents. And I was talking to Miss Brittany today, Briley's mother and stepfather, and they're just kind of overwhelmed with two emotions. They're very emotional over the loss of Briley, certainly, but just the support and for what this community's done. So I wanted to just start this meeting just to show gratitude, just thanking this community for what they've done for us, our school administrators, our coaches, certainly our students, but for Briley's family. So I ask you all to continue to remember them in your thoughts and prayers in the coming days.
This time we'll do pledges of allegiance, followed by opening prayer.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Our Heavenly Father, as we know we come before you this evening, Lord, we ask that you be with us as we go about doing the business that we need to do. And Father, we thank you for the community that we have to come together. For such a tragedy that happened last week, Father, we just ask that you be with the family, continue to be with the family, Lord. Give them the peace that they need. And just be with us as a community, Lord, as we continue to come together and be there for the family. Be with us this evening, Lord. Send down the Holy Spirit to each and every one of us this evening and help us through this to make the wise decisions that we need to make. We ask this in Jesus' precious name.
Amen. Thank you, Chief.
This time we'll call the meeting to order. Roll call.
This action is taken by calling each board member's name with the board member answering present. Mr. Murray.
Present.
Mr. Selby.
Present.
Ms. Wilson. Ms. Hickenbotham.
Present.
Mr. Kazsuk.
Present.
All present.
Next item on the agenda is the adoption of the agenda.
Mr. Kazsuk, I don't have anything to recommend to strike or to add to the agenda, so if there's no corrections or amendments, I recommend the agenda be approved as presented.
Motion.
Yes. Motion. I'll say it.
Second. Vote.
Mr. Murray.
Yes.
Mr. Selby.
Yes.
Ms. Wilson.
Yes.
Ms. Higginbotham.
Yes.
Mr. Kazsuk.
Yes. Next item on the agenda is public comments.
During this time, I do want to note a couple of things, Mr. Kazsuk.
Sure.
The district has began what's referred to as Portrait of the Learner work, and this room has been full of community members and stakeholders a couple of mornings, 2 weeks in a row, and I know Miss Rita was there, maybe Mr. Bell was there, but it's been great, hasn't it? It's been great conversations of what the skills, the attributes, just what we want when a student leaves Russell County Schools, what we want them to possess. So we've done the first 2 steps of that, and there'll be a community survey. We'll be meeting again, and then we come and bring that to the board for a presentation, and then ultimately you all have to approve that work. So I just want to share with you that that work is going very good. We have 2 facilitators from the Kentucky Department of Education that's been meeting with us. We feed everybody breakfast, and then we get to work, don't we, Miss Rita? But it's been very good work, and I'm looking forward to that. So when that survey comes out, I just encourage the community to look at that draft and the kind of the direction that committees have been taking with that, and then I look forward to later on, it'll be after March sometime, because we're meeting again in the committee to bring that to you all, so the board can review that and then ultimately hopefully approve that. But it's been good work. Secondly, I just want to share that probably, Mr. Kazsuk, we've not said anything about a date or anything, but it would expedite what I'm getting ready to talk about if we could have a special board meeting. We don't have to talk about the date tonight, but back in January 23rd, when we had the water break in the Salem community and the water was shut off, when it came back on at Salem, it blew a backflow valve in the mechanical. It flooded the gymnasium, and we've had 2 companies come in, and it's the gym floor is going to have to be replaced at Salem. It's buckled and it's not safe, and they can still use it for some things, but it's pretty limited. So I've talked to the state, and I'm meeting with the insurance adjuster in the morning. So the state has said we can do an emergency BG1 on that, and it's going to expedite the process, and it's a legitimate reason for that. So after I meet with the insurance adjuster in the morning, get some other information, and look for if the board's available to have a special board meeting and get some information to get that done so we could get that rolling. Ideally, we could maybe hopefully get that done before school is out, because these flooring companies are really busy in the summertime with new school construction and different things like that. So we've got 2 quotes in so far. One of them is basically $200,000, and another company that's actually did the original floor and has done a lot of work in our district and throughout the state. It's about half that price, and he did the original floor for that. So with that would be the one that we would be obviously looking at bringing out to you all to approve, and he does good work. But I'll have some more information after I meet with the insurance adjuster tomorrow and get back with the state. But I just want to put that on your all's radar that we may need to do that sooner rather than wait till the regular March meeting to do that.
Anything else? Next item is Russell County Education Association Certified Employee Recognition, January, Lucas Ford, Lake Success Academy, February, Tina Fletcher, Russell Springs Elementary School.
That's a pretty good dynamic duo you got tonight, Miss Amber.
I was going through all like their stuff. I was like, wow.
That's a pretty good dynamic duo.
Use yours.
Miss Tina, ceding to you first there.
Two rows.
All right. So on behalf of the Russell County Education Association, I'm honored to recognize not 1 but 2 outstanding educators as January and February Teacher of the Month. So our January Teacher of the Month is Mr. Lucas Ford from Russell County High School and Laker Success Academy. He teaches special education English, language arts, and math for grades 9 through 12, and this year marks his 17th year in education. Throughout his career, he served in many roles, including special ed teachers, assistant principal, head football coach, assistant coach across several schools in Kentucky. His experience brings a unique depth of leadership and perspective to our district. He earned his bachelor's degree in special education from the University of Kentucky, his master's in educational leadership and principalship from Union College, completed his rank 1 in supervisor of instruction, and is currently pursuing his doctorate in educational leadership through the University of the Cumberlands. His commitment to lifelong learning truly reflects his dedication to education. When asked what he loves most about teaching, he said fostering relationships with staff and students, and that speaks volumes. Outside of school, he enjoys traveling with his family, hiking, and volunteering with youth sports, which again shows his heart for mentorship beyond the classroom. His favorite quote is, "Failing to prepare is preparing to fail." And clearly, preparation, leadership, and commitment define his career. We are grateful for the impact he makes on students every single day. It is my privilege to present the January Teacher of the Month award to Mr. Lucas Ford.
He's not kin to me, but I'd claim him.
I know,
I would claim him.
And that is for you, and here is your check. I don't know.
Carol Jackson here. Can you take a picture? I don't know.
He probably went to Clinton.
No, he's sick.
Oh, yeah. I figured he went to Clinton.
Let me get another. My picture skills.
No, you used to sit down, you got another.
It goes back, Miss Amber, to several years ago when I had her take a picture for me, and she looked on the digital camera, but she literally left the cover on.
Oh, my
So that's
gosh.
the lens cover.
Several pictures, and I'm so proud of myself.
Important pictures too.
Oh, gosh.
We go back to that. That's been a few years.
That's a true story.
I usually cut heads off.
All right, so our February Teacher of the Month was Miss Tina Fletcher. From Russell Springs Elementary, she teaches 4th and 5th grade special education in reading, math, and writing, and this year marks an incredible 28 years in education. 28 years of showing up for kids, 28 years of impact. That is something worth celebrating. She began her career in Adair County, then taught special education and PE at Union Chapel Elementary until it closed, and has continued serving students right here at Russell Springs Elementary in multiple roles, from 2nd grade to PE, and now back where her heart clearly is in special education. She earned her bachelor's degree in elementary education from Lindsey Wilson College and her master's in special education from Western Kentucky University, and she's been pouring that knowledge into students ever since. When asked what she loves most about teaching, she said there isn't just one thing she loves most about teaching, but the main thing for her is just being able to motivate and cheer on her students to be the best version of themselves. Her favorite quote is, "The hardest step is often the first one." Outside of school, her biggest joy is being grand to 7 sweet grandbabies, with one more arriving in March, which is clearly her favorite title of all. She also enjoys getting lost in a good book and going to the horse races with her husband. And she asks that we share how thankful she is for this honor, but truly, Miss Fletcher, we are the thankful ones. 28 years of service, leadership, and heart is a legacy. So it's my privilege to present our February Teacher of the Month, Miss Tina Fletcher.
You know to Miss Amber that both of those teachers this month representing teaching special education, and Miss Tina taught PE solely for a number of years, and then just kind of felt led to go back into special education. And I've shared with you all before, and they can certainly attest to it. The needs and the numbers of special education are significantly rising, and so we appreciate the job both of you all do. Yeah,
Thank you.
thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Appreciate you too, Miss Amber. Miss Amber.
Thank you.
Amber.
Thank you.
Coach.
Yes.
That's Coach Humble.
Oh, is that right?
That's right.
Next item on the agenda is fiscal year 2025 audit report.
Mr. Joe Montgomery is with us to provide the fiscal year 25 audit report. So, Mr. Montgomery, we'll turn it over to you.
Absolutely.
He said he brought the cold with him tonight.
Blame it on me. I've been blaming it on my staff all the last day or two. I'm here to present your 2025 audits. I believe you all have it attached to your.
Yes.
I normally would say Marla told me to go over every page, but she's not here, so
She
I won't go over
be with her
every
dad in
page.
Lexington today.
The first 3 pages is our independent auditor's report on your financial statements. It is what we call an unmodified opinion, meaning it's a clean opinion on your financial statements, that they are not materially misstated as presented. Pages 4 through 10, that is management's discussion and analysis that was prepared by your finance officer. It is a good summary. If you don't want to read all 98 pages we have here, you can read that and get a good idea of what went on and how your finances are. We did check the numbers and the information in there against the audit, the financial statements and other information, make sure it's accurate. So again, that's a good read. Page number 11, that's your statement of net position. It's a balance sheet for the entire district. At June 30th, 2025, you had total assets and deferred outflows of $104.5 million. That is a $6.2 million increase. Your total current assets were $21.3 million. That's a $6.9 million increase. And that increase is in cash, which is up $7.5 million, and the increase in cash is due to the issuance of bonds this past year for your construction project. Your total current liabilities, $4.9 million. That's a slight increase of $71,000, not much of a movement there. And your total liabilities and deferred inflows, $78.5 million, increase of $3.8 million. Again, you issued bonds, and then we had a decrease in our net pension and our net OPEB liabilities. And overall, your total net position, $26 million. and that is a $2.4 million improvement over the prior year. On the next page, page number 12, that is our statement of activities. That is what I call the profit and loss for the entire district. For the year ended June 30th, 2025, you had total expenses of $44.1 million. And that was up $1.9 million from the previous year. Total revenues were $46.4 million, down $1.3 million as compared to the previous year. And your change in net position is a positive $2.4 million, down $3.3 million from the previous year. And you're hearing me say some things going down. We had the ESSER money, okay, which is the COVID-19 money that came to an end basically in 2024. So there were some expenses that got shifted, some of them got shifted, but basically you have expenses that are no longer being paid by that. And so the district is picking those back up. But you still have a good positive $2.4 million improvement, which is a good solid number. Page number 13 is your balance sheet for your funds. I'm going to focus on the general fund because that's the one that you all have actual control over. Total assets for the general fund at the end of the year was $9.9 million. That's a $941,000 improvement over the previous year. Your total liabilities, $411,000. That's a $200,000 increase as compared to the prior year. And your total fund balance for the general fund was $9.6 million. And that is a $734,000 improvement over the prior year. So you're seeing a lot of improvement, especially when it gets to the fund balances. So those are good numbers. Page number 14 shows the differences between the two balance sheets. The majority of that difference is in capital assets, net depreciation of $75.6 million. And you have bonds payable of $53 million at the end of the year. And then we have the two, what I call the evil twins, of net pension liability of $7.6 million and net OPEB liability of $3.9 million. And again, I always like to point out that you're not making payments on these. These are two numbers that are provided by the state that we have to embed into your financial statements. So it's a liability, but you're not writing any checks for it. Page number 15, statement of revenues, expenditures, and changes in fund balances. Again, I'm going to focus on the general fund. Total revenues for the general funds up, it was $31.7 million. That's a $1.9 million improvement over the prior year. Majority of that improvement was you received more money from the state. Total expenditures, $32.5 million. That's an increase of $2.8 million from the previous year. And your total net change in fund balance is a positive $734,000. And that is a $716,000 improvement over the prior year. Okay? Which gives you an ending balance of $9.5 million. Good solid balance for your general fund for a district of this size. Page 16 shows the differences between what I call the two profit and losses. Yeah, don't be spread.
No, I said we've had years it wasn't that way.
Oh, okay. Yes, you have.
Yes. It's been a few years, but we've had lean years.
The next page shows the difference between what I call the two profit and losses. Again, the majority of that is your capital outlays less depreciation of $1.8 million. You did receive proceeds from issuing a bond of $10.3 million. You paid down your principal by $2.2 million on bonds. And then below that are some smaller items. Again, we've got the net pension liability and the OPEB liability there. Page 17, statement of net position for your proprietary funds. You only have one. There's your food service. Total assets at the end of the year and deferred outflows, $2,148,000. It's down $600,000. Of that $600,000, your deferred outflows for pensions and OPEBs went down by $300,000 combined. Your cash went down by $150,000, and then your receivables, what was owed to you by the federal government for your food service, was down by another $150,000. Total liabilities and deferred inflows, $3.3 million, down $700,000. Majority of that was a decrease in your net pension liability by $500,000. Okay, and then your total net position is a negative $1.1 million, and that is a $71,000 improvement over last year. The reason you have a negative there is because of that $2,057,000 net pension liability that's sitting there. It comes from the state. If we had that back based on what you as a district do in food service, then you would be sitting on about an $800,000 positive number there.
Yeah,
So
it's not a negative operating expense for the district.
that's
I
correct.
just want
and
that clear to
that's why I always
everybody.
point that out.
Yes.
It's not anything you are doing, it's the fact that the state says, here's $2 million you have to embed in here as a liability, which drives that number down. So when we take the $2 million off of the $1.1 million, you got a $900,000 positive, right about $1 million positive. That would be from your operations, okay? So let's not shut down food service. Page number 18 is your statement of revenues, expenses, and changes in net position. Total operating revenues, $208,000, up about $30,000. Total operating expenses, $3.6 million. That's up $165,000. Now that's an increase. It is not as big of an increase as I have been seeing everywhere else for food service. The inflation
Yep.
has driven
Absolutely.
the costs of food
Yes. significantly.
up significantly. And I give kudos to your food service coordinator here, because I'm seeing numbers that are $500,000 and $600,000 increases. So your person has done a good job of managing that.
She does do well.
Your non-operating revenues, $3.4 million, that's up $232,000 from the previous year. And again, you had an income profit of $70,825 for the year. Okay, so good. I am used to seeing out of the 14 districts we did this year, you are one of 2 that has a positive number. Everybody else has 6-figure negatives. So,
Oh. 951 was that way paid.
Sorry.
What do you think it was months ago was paid?
Turn the heat on.
my 92-year-old mother must have walked through. My 92-year-old mother lives with me. And when I'm gone during the day, every room in my house has its own thermostat. So when I'm gone during the day, she turns mine down to 0 off in my bedroom.
She's trying to help you save money.
That's exactly what she said.
Yeah, I figured, because you're not there.
And I keep telling her, quit it. I'll make enough money. I think I can keep it above 0. Page number 19 is a statement of cash flows. It shows where your money came from and where it went out. Overall, you had a decrease in cash in food service of $150,000, which we already talked about. The thing about cash with food service is you're only allowed to keep 3 months of expenses in there. So you have to spend it down. If not, they will freeze the federal reimbursements until it does draw down. So from there, I will take you back to the notes. And if you go to page number 32, this is your debt note. I would like to point out the bottom part. That's your total long-term liabilities beyond your bonds, but it's everything that is a long-term liability for the district. You had a beginning balance of $61.8 million. You increased that by $10.4 million, and that's because of the issuance of the bonds.
For the bus garage and field
Yes.
houses.
You had reductions of $4.8 million. You see that you paid down on the bonds $2.2 million, and your net pension liability went down by $1.4 million, and your net other post-employment benefits liability went down by $784,000. Your ending balance for total liability is $67.4 million, and the amount that will be is due in the current fiscal year you're in $2.5 million, so that's the cash outflow to service these liabilities in the current year. If you will go back to page number 52, and again, I always like to point this out, at the top is no P. It's on behalf payments, and the state of Kentucky makes payments directly to vendors for services and items for this district. They don't send it to the district to pay, they pay it directly. So for the year ended June 30th, 2025, the state of Kentucky expended $9.5 million for this district. Of that, $3.9 million went into the teacher retirement system, and $5 million paid for health insurance for employees here in this district. I always like to point that out. And if you will go back to page number, and I promise guys, I'm going to get off the soapbox in just a couple of minutes. Page number 76. That is your schedule of expenditures of federal awards. We call it the CEPA. This shows the amount of federal money that this district expended during the fiscal year by program. At the bottom, you'll see total federal financial assistance was expended in this district, $6.9 million for 25. That's down $3.3 million from the previous year. You had about $10 million in 2024. If you look in the middle, it says COVID-19 Elementary and Secondary School Emergency Relief Fund. That's the ESSER money. Finishing it up in 2025, you expended $270,000. In 2024, you expended $3.9 million in ESSER money. So that's where your decreases come from, was the fact that the ESSER funds, COVID-19 funds, came to an end. I hate that you lost the money, but I'm glad it's gone. As an auditor, trust me. I'm looking at it for my selfish purposes.
There were many additional accountability pieces that went with that, you know.
There were, and just to give everybody an idea how the federal part of an audit goes. And of course, I'm a geek and I have no life, and I can sit up here and do a dissertation all night and enjoy myself, but you all would hate me when I got done. But when they put out something like the ESSER money, the COVID-19 money, you normally on federal awards, you look at every award above a certain dollar amount is called a type A. Okay, they're the big ones. And they say, you have to do a look back. Has it been audited in the last 2 years? If it has not, you must audit it in that year, okay? To make sure that they're getting picked up and audited. ESSER came out, COVID-19 money came out, and they said, we the federal government, consider it high risk, you must audit it every year. Okay? That's for the big money. Then you go to the other programs, and if the COVID-19 money was 10% or more of those programs, you had to audit that program also. So we didn't have a normal kind of rotation that we could manage. We still had the rotations, but then we had these add-ons that we had to do every year. So from our perspective, it added probably about a week on every audit.
And then even for the district, like we used some of that money to do the science labs and the roofs, and so that came the prevailing wage and keeping up with that because it was a federal program.
Yep.
And Mr. Montgomery had to meet with us about that and said if the contractors had to send us their wages of their employees working on those jobs.
And they had to pay every week.
Yeah.
They were contracted to pay every 2 weeks. They had to actually come down to every week and pay. I keep trying to think of those two guys' names. Can't think of them off the top of my head. But luckily, your district did a good job because I had one district that was doing a construction project, and I asked them where the information on that was. It's a bill that's Mike, what's the name of those two?
Davis-Bacon?
Davis-Bacon, yeah. So I went and asked them, I said, where's your Davis-Bacon information? They said, who are Davis and Bacon?
That's something I.
That was not the case
That was
here.
not the case here, but I did have one that said, who are Davis and Bacon? So we had findings, and I had to help them work through that in order to get them out of Dutch on that. So, but I just wanted to hang my head and go home whenever they asked in Davis and Bacon.
Federal dollars kick in. Yes.
Page number 78, that's the schedule of findings and question costs. We did not have any findings or question costs that need to be reported. This is a summary that the federal and state government look at in order to see if there are issues at a district or anyone that's got received federal awards.
Yeah, this is big for a lot of grants. They want to
see
know
that,
that.
yeah.
Yes, you have to click that, absolutely.
Page number 80 and 81, that is our independent auditor's report on internal controls over financial reporting and compliance. Again, we have an unmodified opinion stating that there's no issues that we came across in your internal controls over financial reporting and compliance. And behind that is our independent auditor's report over your major programs. That's the federal government audit. That's what we call the single audit. Again, we have a unmodified opinion. We did not find where the district misspent federal money. We did not find where we had weaknesses or deficiencies in the internal controls over the federal awards. So this is letting them know that none of that was an issue. And behind that, I'll do this without. I was doing this the last week, and I had a bound copy, and the binder came loose, and the whole thing went flying across the place.
Sort of like.
Behind that, on page 85 and 86 is our management letter. We really didn't have anything. Everything that we had in the prior year got cleared up and had been corrected. And we did not come up with anything this year or see anything this year that really needed any kind of response.
Fantastic.
Again, that's just some minor things, so, but nothing of any significance. And then page 87 to the end, again, as auditors, we're required to communicate with those charged with governance. That's you, the board, in writing about how the audit went. You know, did we have issues with getting it scheduled? Did we have problems getting the information we need? Did Marla and Mike argue with us about accounting processes or auditing procedures or any of that? No, we had none of that. So that's letting you all know that it went smooth. It is later this year than it normally is, and I will explain why that's the case. Talking about the single audit and the federal government and their requirements, and they put out what is called the OMB Circular A-133 every year. And that is the Bible they send us. They have every federal award in there listed. It's 2,950 pages, I think, is the count this year. And they have sections for every one of these awards, federal awards. And they tell us what the compliance requirements are. What you can spend the money on, what you can't do, etc. That is normally released, and they're supposed to release it before July 31st. They released it this year the day before Thanksgiving. And because of the delays, we were forbidden to complete the audits and release. And if we did, we were threatened with auditor prison. Basically what it means is that we would have been turned over to the ethics committee. They would have investigated us and probably made us stop auditing for a certain amount of time. So we were stuck with 14 of these sitting on my desk waiting for them to release it. And normally we're done and moving on.
I know Kentucky Department of Education has already processed the audit that you sent with us and had no issues.
No issues.
Yeah.
So, yeah, well, I take pride in doing a good job. I'm a human, I make one mistake a year. Trying to save it to December's when I always try to do it. It's close to Christmas, people forgive you a little quicker.
While you're here, if you don't
Yes.
mind, I've talked to the board and we updated the fee schedule here for this building,
Mhm.
Joe. And I know you helped us and you talked to us a little bit about that. But while we've got you here, I just want, if you don't care to explain, because we did increase the fees and we did talk about that would apply to anybody that wasn't school affiliated, you know, things like that.
Sure.
Talk about the rationale, if you don't, or the legal obligation to why we cannot donate people and space and all of that to cover.
Well,
Because
I mean, you've got expenses related to, you turn the lights on, what's it cost you? Okay, it costs you electricity. You can't just open the doors and let anybody walk in, you gotta have somebody here. Well, what's that cost you? Salary? Okay. And from the standpoint, I mean, you're not what I would call a non-profit organization. I mean, you don't pay taxes, of course, you're a subdivision of the state of Kentucky. But if someone is using your facilities, then you should be collecting something, okay? You should be collecting some kind of rent, some kind of something on that, because every time somebody uses something, it gets wore out, okay? Wear and tear. You have expenses related to that, with electricity and whatnot, and then you have personnel costs. So my suggestion was set a rent. If they want to use the auditorium, here's how much it costs for an evening or a day. And since you have to send people in here, because you can't just let people run in, you have to have people here. Then whatever those salaries are, you need to lump it into, here's how much per hour for the person.
And as a district, we cannot donate.
No.
We're not allowed.
You are not a donating organization, okay? So you have taxpayer money, and that taxpayer money is to be spent on education purposes, okay? So you can't just donate the facilities and have the taxpayers eat the costs involved. Is basically what it comes down to. So, you know, being good stewards, and honestly, most of my districts that I have, when someone wants to use the auditorium or somebody wants to use the task of the gym or whatever, they have, here's how much it is for that period of time. And they literally get rent on it.
Yeah.
And that's the underlying principle of it is if you're good stewards of the taxpayers' money, then those costs aren't what I call dead costs. Meaning, you know, you let whatever organization come in, yeah, you can use the gym for the night. Well, you got the lights on, you got all that. So you're using the taxpayers' money, basically donating the taxpayers' money to this organization, not directly, but indirectly. Okay, and that's not what you can legally do. I mean, I'm not an attorney, but I just interpret it from my perspective. So,
Well, we,
and some people don't like it, they go somewhere else. I'm kind of blunt on that one.
we appreciate the work and assistance, and I think I say this every year, but Mr. Montgomery is very accessible throughout the year because he would rather us talk through an issue than him find it at the end. And so he's good about that on the front end and available to us to call or email, and I appreciate that.
I'd like to say I like it boring on it.
Yeah.
I do too.
Yes.
I think the entire board does.
Yes.
So, you know, it's easier to give guidance because I've been doing this for 35 years and I've seen it all.
Same here.
And a lot of times your finance officer, your superintendent, there's something that comes up that they've never seen. So how do we handle this? Well, chances are I've already handled it at least once. So I tell everybody, hey, I'd rather give you some guidance up front than fix it on the back end.
All right.
So,
Appreciate it.
Appreciate it very
Yeah.
much.
questions, comments, gripes on this, anything other than country music and rap?
I'm going to.
I recommend approval of fiscal year 25 audit and submission to KDE.
Make a motion, Lord.
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Selby. Vote.
Mr. Murray,
Yes.
Mr. Selby,
Yes.
Ms. Wilson.
Yes.
Ms. Higginbotham.
Yes.
Mr. Kazoo.
Yes.
Thank you, Mr. McGovern.
Have a good
Thank you.
evening.
Thank you. Be careful.
He did, didn't he?
Next item on the agenda is construction updates. Bus garage and football field house.
Ms. Desta Robinson with Branscombs. I also asked Destin before the meeting if she was, you know, if you remember last time she was here, we had a little screen up about congratulations on the new baby. So I asked her if she was going to give an update on the baby's name, the weight, or anything like that. She said her app says the baby's about the size of a carrot. So, but the baby's name is Kit.
We're gonna name her Kit.
Yes.
K-I-T Kit.
I said, not Larry McGowan Jr., and she said no. I did tell Larry I was going to mention some of that, Destin.
Okay, just wanted to show a picture of the front of the bus garage. You can see that we've got the brick laid on the front. They still got a little trim work and stuff to do, but most of that is completed, but it looks really good.
It really looks good. The colors in the brick and the metal really complement each. You can, that picture doesn't reflect it so well, but it really does in person.
Now, that's the side.
That faces this end you're looking at here. I'm sorry, Destin. Oh.
No, you're good.
Well, it faces the south, what you're looking at. In the corner there is what faces the west. Yeah.
This is the side too where that brick wraps around, just showing like some concrete that we have formed. We're trying to pour that later this week pending weather. This is the back side. You can see HVAC set their big unit for that big HVAC change that happened. And we've poured those side aprons on this side towards the back.
Mr. Murray, how would you like to have a shop like that?
Probably not.
No comment.
This is the interior. You can see a lot of stuff is already in place. There's an eye wash station back there. The stairs are in place up to the mezzanine. All the ductwork's been installed and the ceiling heater right there you can see. I took this standing on the stairs today. You can see all the slab is poured except for where the pig goes. They were actually on site today with the forms. They're starting to form that. We should pour it later this week. After that gets poured, we will pour the rest of the slab and all of that will be finished and ready for pour fill. Casework is being installed. That is in the training and lounge room in the bus garage. This is the exterior of the home field house. Just really took this picture because the last picture I showed of the exterior, the steel structure had not been painted. That was still maroon color. They did a good job color matching that to the canopy above. These are your showers in the home field house. And these pictures don't do it justice. All these colors pop really good.
They do.
Those are your lockers. I pulled some plastic off of them today to show you that, but that's inside the home field house. That entire room is filled with lockers like this for the football team. This is inside one of the bathrooms in one of the coach's office, just showing the blues and reds and everything looks really good together. But they've been set toilet accessories this week, and they should get that done by the end of the week. Showing too that casework was set in this building as well. All the lights have been set. The only reason the ceiling is still open right now is we've been doing the above ceiling punch list. That should be done hopefully by the end of this week, and we can draw ceiling time. This is at the visitor field house in one of the restrooms. They were putting final coat and paint on there today. Same thing with light fixtures are all dropped, and we've got a above ceiling inspection. They're trying to get everything ready for the drop ceiling tile. This is inside the visitor locker room, just showing an overall picture of all the lockers. There's also lockers behind me in this picture. And this is the concession stand, just showing light fixtures and ceiling grids in. The countertops were on site, they just had to put the brackets in to install, but you can see they've set the sink and there's a mop sink in the back, they set all the plumbing fixtures. And that's it for the field house and this. And on the band tower, they were digging the footers this week and they showed pending weather for the footers for that band tower this week.
They both told me at the progress meeting for the band, there's, they don't foresee anything that would prevent them from using it, this coming up year for the band.
That'd be great.
That's it.
All right. Thanks, Dustin.
Thank you.
Look what we got. We got meeting.
Next item on the agenda is consent agenda.
We have the previous meeting minutes, payment of bills, school activity fund reports, field trips, and the treasurer monthly report. Russell County Board of Education treasurer monthly report, month of January 2026. Excuse me. Balance on hand at the beginning of the month, $17,900,078.46. Total of all receipts for the month, $2,730,175.66. Total of all receipts and beginning balance, $20,630,254.12. Disbursements for the month, $3,859,931 and a penny. Balance at the close of the month, cash in bank, $16,770,323.11. Fund balances, general fund, Fund 1, $12,156,420.48. Special projects, Fund 2, negative $973,083.96. District activity, Fund 21, negative $111,666.04. And you all know Fund 2, we spend it, we get the reimbursements back. And Fund 21 is when we sweep the school accounts and bring it back to the district account. Capital outlay, Fund 310, $131,143. FSBK building fund, 320, $709,051.35. Construction fund 360, $4,233,247.80. Debt service, Fund 400, 0. Food service, Fund 51, $625,210.48. Fiduciary fund, Fund 7,000, 0. Total cash in bank of all funds, $16,770,323.11. Dated and signed by Ms. Carnes. So if there aren't no changes or amendments, I recommend approval of the consent agenda items.
Motion? Mr. Burns, second?
Second.
Joy? Vote?
Mr. Murray,
Yes.
Mr. Selby,
Yes.
Ms. Wilson,
Yes.
Ms. Hickenbotham,
Yes.
Mr. Kazoo.
Yes. Next item on the agenda is 2026-2027 tentative district staffing and SBDM allocation policy.
So you all see this every year. This starts the school's staffing and funding allocations for the year. KRS 160.345 and 702 KAR 3:246. The board must provide each council the tentative school staffing and budget allocations for the next fiscal year by March 1st, with a notice of an update allocation by May 1, and then a reference to the chart of federal for the personnel account. No changes as far as like the number of staff or assistant principals. We're not proposing anything like that on that first page. I will note, you all know this, it's a legislative year. That's scheduled to close on middle of April. This policy has to be given back, it's final to the councils by May 1st. And so we always typically kind of restrict, I guess you will, their ADA money to the bare minimum of $100 per pupil. And for the past several years, we've always increased that to the max after we see the funding allocation This will be crucial this year since it's a budget year, but that just gives the principals right now an amount to play with, if you will, to plan for the next school year. And this is the staffing allocation, the worksheet for each of the elementary schools, middle school, and or high school. So again, we've not asked you all to come up, and we have sometimes in the past to add an additional guidance counselor here, or an additional assistant principal here, or anything like that. None of that is that. Our numbers, as you all know, our population is very stable, and so there's very little change as far as the population of teachers and the ratio of students to teachers and all of that, the things like that. One thing that we will need to address, and maybe even Mr. Kazsuk at the special board meeting, is our staffing for the Seed Academy. This does not reflect that, so obviously we're going to need some custodial there. And what I'll just tell you now, what I would, meeting with staff and planning with several stakeholders, we would like to add one additional agriculture teacher. Obviously, we're having the Seed Academy, but we want to expand agricultural opportunities for our middle school as well. I think that's great for our community. I think it's great for this region. I think it's certainly great for our students. But to build that interest and grow that interest at the middle school level, Mr. Gosser and Mrs. Garman, you all know what a fabulous job that they do, and they certainly are in support of that, and we've had good meetings with them. I know we've got an agenda item here a little later, actually after this agenda item, for the furniture for the Seed Academy. So I just want to note that staffing for the Seed Academy is not reflected in staffing for the schools at this point. That teacher that we would be providing, an additional teacher and the ag teacher would fall under discretionary, is meaning that it's a position that the school gets beyond what their numbers generate, if that makes sense. So let's just say that the student population at a school said that they get 20 teachers, and the board said, well, they get 20, but we're going to give them an extra. And so it's kind of along those lines, if that makes sense. But just to talk about the staffing needs at the Seed Academy with that. So these are drafts, as I noted. These are tentative. The board will have to approve the final allocations by the May 1st deadline, and that's when we always firm everything up number-wise and our population. Miss Jamie Shearer always puts together too just the number of staff that are paid for out of federal dollars. And so I encourage public, when you all hear that titles being potentially cut at the federal dollars, or Idea B or Title II, just look at the staff that are paid for at our schools. Our instructional coaches are paid for with federal dollars that come from federal. They're not coming from local or state dollars. Jamestown has 3 additional teachers because of federal dollars, so that reduces classroom size. Russell Springs has 2, Salem has 1, and then middle school has 4, and the high school has 4, and then there's a position, Miss Simpson, that helps with English language learners. Half of her salary is paid by federal dollars. We could not, Troy Young, resource officer, is paid partially with out of these federal dollars. We could not, as a district, absorb this staff and still staff our schools the way we do, save if federal dollars were cut. So this allocation that I'm asking you to approve meets the minimum staffing requirements for a school, but that the state puts out. So if they says, the ratio of 24 to 1 for primary, and 28 to 1 teacher student for 4th grade, and like 29 for 1 for 5th grade, and then it goes up for middle school and high school. These teachers are in addition to that. You cannot substitute a teacher that's paid with federal dollars in light of what has to be allocated by student-teacher ratio. So I just want to note the sheer amount of people, boots on the ground, if you will, that are paid for with the federal dollars. So it's good to engage our legislators, both federal and state, on the importance of funding for public education, and certainly the impact that could make on our class sizes and different things like that if that were to be cut. So I recommend approval of the tentative school staffing and budget allocations for the 2026-2027 school year as presented, and that will be here before you know it.
I'll make a motion.
One other thing I want to note, that that ratio does not count special ed staff as well. That does not count in that ratio of the teachers. They're based on the numbers of special education staff, teachers, students.
You'll second it, Joy?
So Brenda
Brenda
made it.
made a mention. Joy second.
Mr. Murray?
Mr. Murray?
Yes.
Oh, I'm sorry. Mr. Selby?
I didn't hear
Yes.
you.
Ms. Wilson?
Yes.
Ms. Higginbotham?
Yes.
Mr. Kazoo?
Yes.
And we'll get those to the principals because they have to review those with their councils.
Next item on the agenda is furniture, Seed Academy.
Talked a little bit about this at the other agenda item, but back on actually the Wednesday of one of the snow days, myself and Mrs. Garman and Mr. Gosser and Piper, Ms. Garman said, what about bringing Piper to get a student perspective? And I said, that'd be great. Met with Jared with Verco, and we walked the building, and he came up with this quote for us. So the quote is $91,843.44. Verco is a company that we have used for a number of years. They did all the furniture at the Lake Cumberland Regional College and Workforce Center. Their warranty is outstanding. Their customer service is outstanding, and they're on the state price master contract list, or state price contract list as well. So we're free to purchase from them. The quote is $91,843.44. So this includes 3 classrooms with offices and storage areas, the reception area, the conference room, and the main administrative office. So I know I attached the quote there, and you can see the drawing of the rooms. Now, you'll see that some of those classrooms are vacant, and we didn't want to come to you all and spend money right now and put a bunch of furniture in the classroom that may not be used right now until things grow and we get going. So we may come back to you at another point, and hopefully we do, because of full utilization, but we didn't want to spend money. And I appreciate Mrs. Garman and Mr. Gosser being in complete agreement with that, to equip a classroom, if you will, that was going to sit empty right now. And so that's why you see on the drawing, some of those rooms are empty of furniture, because at this current state, they probably won't be used. And I hopefully sooner than later that I'll be coming back to you and say that, hey, we need it, we're ready for that. So I won't take time to go through each piece, but you can see the desk, the student desk, the teacher desk, the bookshelves. Mr. Gosser and Mrs. Garman reviewed this quote after we met with the furniture rep, and very appreciative of it, and had no corrections or amendments to make to the quote. And I took pending your all's approval tonight, the last thing that they would do would pick some colors and some finishes for what's put on there. But it's a great company to work with, and like I said, they're on the state price contract list. So it's $91,843.44 for the furniture quote for the Seed Academy.
Motion. Second. Mr. Murray? Vote.
Okay. Mr. Murray?
Yes.
Mr. Selby?
Yes.
Ms. Wilson?
Yes.
Ms. Higginbotham?
Yes.
Mr. Kazoo?
Yes.
Thank you.
Planning.
Next item on the agenda, revision, local planning committee for district facilities plan.
I know I'm wearing you all out on this, and I apologize. At the previous meeting, you all approved the local planning committee, and I did not check addresses, and I should have. And by regulation, a member of the local planning committee for your school district cannot be outside of your district unless there's nobody else that would serve, and/or then you get a waiver from the Commissioner of Education. And so Miss Billy, Salem had selected her as a parent member, and she's not eligible unless there was nobody else willing to serve. And then Danielle Wilson that has been selected to be in place with her. Miss Billy totally understood. So everyone else stays the same, except for Danielle Wilson is substituted for Billy Foley as the parent at the Salem Elementary School. So that's the only change that was made. I recommend approval of the Russell County Schools Facilities Planning Committee.
Motion.
Second.
Second.
Joey? Vote.
Mr. Murray?
Yes.
Mr. Selby?
Yes.
Ms. Wilson?
Yes.
Ms. Higginbotham?
Yes.
Mr. Kazoo?
Yes. Next item on the agenda is, Alliance Agreement After School Summer Program.
So we're really excited about this. Pending your all's approval, we can offer this program for students. And I'll say this to begin with. This is not, it'd be easiest for us not to do this because it's additional paperwork, it's something else to keep up with. But I have no doubt it's the best thing for students, and it's at no cost to the district. So Miss Bridget Smith initially brought this to me. She was at a meeting. Other school districts, a few to our west, are doing it. And it's an after-school summer program called the RISE. It's through the Alliance, and they provide counseling, mental health services. But it's for students who need a higher level of support than just individual therapy, but less support than a residential treatment or intensive therapy. And we certainly have students that fall in that category with that. I'm trying to pull up the, and so pending your all's approval, they would utilize the room where the Laker Success Academy, there's a room at the south end of that is currently not being used, and they would use that at the end of the school day and during the summertime. They would also bring in furniture, television, all that stuff like that, and equip the room. And as part of the agreement, we still get to use that during the day and things like that. They would also have a stove, refrigerator, all those things because they cook for students as part of that. And we too get to utilize those types of things. I already met with Mr. Thomas with the facilities, and he needs to they'll do some work on the, haven't yet because it needed the board to approval. But for instance, a sink to wash dishes and things over there, and he's came and met with us. They'll reimburse the district to purchase the sink and do all that work with it. So students would stay after school until 7 o'clock if the parents elect for them to stay that late. And they get intense therapy and support and group work and things like that. This group would provide transportation if needed. A bus could get a lot of the students here, and they would then provide transportation home if the parents couldn't pick them up and things like that. During the summer months, it would be 4 hours during the day with that. So we do have students with some pretty significant high needs. We met with Miss Bridget, Michaela Vaughn, Miss Dameron, myself, with representatives from Alliance. And it's just exactly what it is. It's a mental health after-school program. And I'll just read this little starter here. It says, are you seeking comprehensive support for your child's mental health needs? Look no further than RISE, a specialized mental health skill building program designed for children and adolescents who need more than individual therapy, but less than 24-hour care. Our program bridges the gap between individual therapy and intensive care, equipping youth with essential skills in crisis intervention, emotional regulation, social skill development, problem solving, coping strategies, and more. And it's for ages 7 through 17. It notes the program highlights of free transportation, meals served daily, ages 7 through 17, 3 to 4 hour long groups. And it's for students that currently have a diagnosis, mental health diagnosis, and they're also Medicaid eligible because this company would bill Medicaid. And looking at 20 students. Mr. Hoover and I talked today about some other things, and he had no issues with our facility use agreement. I do want to note that they would not pay us for using the facility because it's our kids. Different kind of what along the same lines as what Mr. Montgomery was talking about. There are students serving our students on our school premises. They're coming in providing the services, but we also get to use all of the things that they bring in. And they said they'll come in and repaint the room if they need to or want to, and all that. We've all reached out to different entities or different representatives. I've talked to superintendents of some districts this are in, and Michaela has checked out to other counterparts that she's worked in, and everybody just had really positive things to say. They've not ran into issues or anything like that. So you'll note in the agreement that like they can take their kids out to the athletic field if it's not being used, and you know they have to clear it with us first. So I've not had another superintendent yet that said, you know, we started it but we had to stop it or anything like that. So I think it's a great service for some of our students that have the higher needs. Again, there's no cost to the district.
So Michaela, the teacher,
No, Miss Michaela is our mental health therapist.
well, who does this?
They're their staff.
Oh, there's
Yes.
this. So what they get is billing,
They bill Medicaid. Yes,
that's what.
Yes, yes.
Pay they get.
yes, yep. They don't receive any additional funds.
And you said what, for 20 students?
Up to 20 right now is what they're looking for. Yeah. And we do not, we can refer, or if parents see the flyer, they can refer their child. Obviously, parents give consent. Parent has to allow them to talk to us, and we have to be able to talk to them so we can share needs if there's a, behavioral needs that we're highlighting. And so everybody gets to work together, have an agreement with that, or the child can't participate, because it's about improving behavior, everything, at home and school. So it's very comprehensive on all of that. And again, superintendents I've talked to have been very positive with that. Yeah, so we are excited.
So
Pending your
they're
all's
out of
approval.
what? Out of where? Where are
They have Bowling Green, they have Monroe, Metcalf. Metcalf counties is off-site though. Monroe, Metcalf. We're the farthest east
I mean,
county.
where are they located? Are they?
Warren County, yeah, and they serve these
Warren
different
County,
areas, yeah.
okay.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of a little, if those of us that's been around a while, it's really familiar, like Impact Plus used to be
Yeah.
years ago for kids, and that was a great program. Provided a lot of. And I'm sorry, let me highlight some stuff because I think on the so Miss Michaela is the point of contact, our mental health therapist, our specialist.
Yeah.
She would arrange all that. We allow them to obviously to park over there. The athletic complex and the middle school gymnasium, they'll be able to use with permission, and Russell County Schools will take precedence. So, in the summertime, if one of the coaches is having summer ball, then that's going to take precedence. All those types of things like that, and they're all great with that. They've reviewed all of that. If there's any issues, they report the facilities issues to myself and Mr. Thomas, Scott Thomas, with that. It notes how they're responsible for cleaning, maintaining the classroom, all those types of things like that. The school's primary contact again is Michaela. She'll do all the coordination. If it notes either party may terminate this agreement for any reason by providing written notice, but no fewer than 30 days. In the event the district determines that continuation of the program poses a safety concern, a policy violation, or a compliance issue, so things are kind of going south, the district reserves the right to terminate this agreement effective immediately with written notice. And so there's safeguards built into it, with it. So upon termination, they vacate our facilities. So again, Mr. Hoover's reviewed it. Look forward to the opportunity. Again, I just think we all agree, we think it'd be some good program for some kiddos.
Yeah.
I recommend approval of the memorandum of agreement with Alliance, the RISE After School Summer Program as presented.
I'll make a motion for that.
Second?
Second.
Vote?
And later, as we get it going, we can provide you all with an update, see how things are going with it. Mr. Murray,
Yes.
Mr. Selby,
Yes.
Ms. Wilson,
Yes.
Ms. Hickenbotham.
Yes.
Mr. Kazoo.
Yes.
They're looking to start that in May, and it's our intent to start it with some high school, middle school students first, and then we'll transition on down.
Like start. Are they gonna cut it off at 20? Or they?
If, it's my understanding, if it were to grow and have a lot greater need, then they would look at additional staffing. And they try to hire local if they can. They'll hire a coordinator, and then they'll also hire the therapist with that.
Sounds too good to be true, almost, doesn't it?
Next item on the agenda is out-of-state and/or overnight trips.
Following groups have received approval from the superintendent for the following out-of-state and overnight trips: Russell County Middle School in March for the Crown Plaza in Louisville, that's with the KYA. Lake Cumberland ATC for the Crown Plaza also in Louisville. Middle school's going to the Holocaust Museum. Educator Rising, and again, they're doing so well, and they're going to competition at the Kentucky Expo Center in Louisville in March. Russell County High School Engineering Technology to the iFly Indoor Skydiving in Gatlinburg, Tennessee in May 15th. Russell County High School Cooking Club on May 28th to the Smoky Mountain School of Cooking and the Island Dolly Parton Stampede. Russell County High School, Crown Plaza, Louisville, and St. Matthews Mall in Louisville. Indro TC and February 28th. Aren't you, Chief? Oak Ridge High School, that's right. Oak Ridge, Tennessee. And then Russell County High School Engineering Technology, March 15th through the 18th for their competition be held in the Marriott. So I recommend approval of out-of-state and their overnight trips as presented.
Motion. Mr. Selby, second. Mr. Murray? Vote.
Mr. Murray?
Yes.
Mr. Selby?
Yes.
Ms. Wilson?
Yes.
Ms. Higginbotham?
Yes.
Mr. Kazoo?
Yes.
Candy bars,
They are good candy.
yeah.
It
No
is.
calories.
Oh, they've got calories.
Next item on the agenda is school-wide fundraiser.
Salem from March 2nd to the 13th will be doing the world's finest chocolate candy bars. So,
Good for them.
and it is good candy if you've
It
never
is.
had one. You all could get them and take them to the hospital auxiliary and sell them. There you go.
You make more money?
That's been recorded, so if Miss KJ is gonna hear me say that, she'll make certain you all get a box of candy to sell at the hospital. So I recommend approval of the school-wide fundraiser.
Well, I'll make a motion. If they wanna sell it, I'll say go ahead.
Sir, second, Joey. Vote.
Mr. Murray?
Yes.
Mr. Selby?
Yes.
Ms. Wilson?
Yes.
Ms. Higginbotham?
Yes.
Mr. Kazoo?
Yes.
Close it now.
Okay, personnel reports.
Megan Martin's been hired as Jamestown Elementary School Special Education MSD Assistant. Cassie Stearns resigned, Jamestown Elementary School's custodian. Keith Pierce resigning, transportation bus driver. Mr. Larry Grider, position change from a standby to a full-time bus driver. Angela Robertson hired as a district substitute teacher. And Mr. Albert Beatty's been hired as Jamestown Elementary School evening custodian. She's gonna stay on the sub.
Next item, public comments.
Fine lady.
Mr. Onion.
Just want to thank Mr. Bell for the sound system. It's really great, but one suggestion of improvement. Put Mr. Murray's in steel pipe so he can't move it away.
I guess.
Boy, that's called being called out, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah, he charged you under the
It's a big improvement, though, seriously.
bus. That's what we're here for, to please.
Anyone else?
I make a motion to adjourn.
Second? Mr. Selby? All in favor?
Raise your hand.
Aye.
Somebody put a pipe on yours so you couldn't move it. I just get back where it was. There you go.